Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And this time reviewing a 30th anniversary movie review from 1986. And this one is another classic. I love this movie, and I would say it's another one of my favorite remakes. Because back then they weren't trying to review like nowadays trying to remake every single film, but there has been a few remakes, especially the '80s. I got two right there. We're trying to do this right. Up there, and up there. My all-time favorite horror film, John Carpenter's The Thing, which is a remake from the '50s. The Thing from Another World, which I like the original black and white movie. But that one I love the most. And then that was from 1982. Then 1988, Chuck Russell's The Blob. What a good story there because you can't see it because the light is in the way, but that's The Blob. So I love that movie. It's another great remake especially from the 80s. Love it. But now this one, this one from 1986 for my 30th anniversary movie review, which I think is a great movie. It's a great remake, and that is from the 1996 remake of The Fly. I love this movie, and it's a great film, especially from director David Cronenberg, which I love, which I would even say it's my favorite film from David Cronenberg, easily. And also, really, this film came out in the summer of 1986, and really enough, there was two other movies came out during the summer of 1996, Aliens and Big Trouble in Little China. That was a really good summer. Both of them were released in July, I think. No, I think Aliens was in May. Big Trouble in Little China was in July. But this film came out in August. It was a good summer, I would say. But this film from director David Cronenberg. Now, if anyone is familiar with David Cronenberg, besides The Fly, other films that he has directed. He directed Videodrome, which starred James Woods. I like. He directed and the year before he did The Fly, was A6. The year before, which was 1985, he directed Stephen King's The Dead Zone, starring Christopher Walken, and I like The Dead Zone. I enjoy Christopher Walken in that film. It's another good Stephen King adaptation. Then he directed in 2005. He directed a film called A History of Violence, and then in 2007 he directed Eastern Promises. I think that was one with Viggo Mortensen. Eastern Promises. I think also A History of Violence. I could be wrong, but. And then 2012, he directed Cosmopolis. I think that was a film that starred Robert Pattinson, from the Twilight movies. I saw the trailer for that when that came out. I did not care for that trailer at all. And if I saw it, I probably would not care for it. So because I did not like the trailer for it, I don't care for Robert Pattinson at all. But before I forgot another one that probably a lot of people do like. To me, I'm not a fan of. And that is from 1981. He directed Scanners. A lot of people like Scanners. To me, I just never got into. For me personally, I never got it. I just never couldn't get into that movie, Scanners, really enough. But to me, this film is easily his best movie. David Cronenberg, his best film is The Fly. And from USA Today, The Fly is a true Cronenberg masterpiece. I would definitely agree with that. The film stars Jeff Goldblum and Geena Davis, which during like during a time around this time they used to be married, but not anymore. But I enjoy these two. I enjoy these two in the movie. Um, they have like great chemistry with together, and just in the film, it just has amazing effects all through the movie. The stages of Jeff Goldblum just slowly transforming into this big version of a fly. Awesome makeup effects. Awesome. It really in the film won the Oscar for best makeup effects, which it deserves. I mean, the effects in this film are outstanding, and I enjoy the score by Howard Shore. I like the score to the film. It's decently well paced. It's on for about. It's only on for 95 minutes, and it's easily well paced. It's not slow or boring. And also this film it's a great 2-disc cassette, which you can see. It's a great 2-disc. Has disc 1 has a full audio commentary with director David Cronenberg, and disc 2 has a lot of features. Has all new documentaries covering all 3 stages of the fly production: larva, pupa, and metamorphosis. Deleted scenes with scriptboard and script comparisons, never before seen alternate ending. Rare test footage, makeup of visual effects. The Brundle Museum of Natural History featurette, which in the film he in his medicine chest he has like different pieces of himself that falls apart, like his ear or now his teeth. That's what he calls the Brundle Museum of Natural History. George Langeland's original short story. Charles Edward Pogue's original screenplay. David Cronenberg's screenplay rewrite. Featurettes, original trailers, TV spots, and etc. So it's a good 2-disc set. And of course, it was like the remake of the film from the 50s, the 50s film that starred Vincent Price. Now, I have seen the original film with Vincent Price. I did not care for it though. But this film is my kind of movie. What they want to see a person turn to a fly. I mean, a lot of people. I don't want to go into full details because I'm sure a lot of people know about this film. Okay, the gist of the story is that Jeff Goldblum, he's, I would say he's probably a scientist. He's working on he's working on teleportation. He has a machine with 2 machines. One can teleport from one part to another. And he's testing experiments, and like he has this one baboon that videoing for experiments, and he puts one baboon and transports into the other, and when it comes out, really good gory effect where the whole thing is inside out, really gruesome effects, but yet well done effects, and he's continuing doing it, and then one time he successfully teleports one baboon to another, and it's unharmed. The baboon is fully. It's perfectly normal. He's running to jumps into Jeff Goldblum's arms. That his teleportation was successful. But now he wants to test it on himself. He did it with an animal, and now he wants to do it with a human. And when he begins the test, a fly gets into the teleporter with him. They both transport to the other one, and he gets gene splice crossed over with the fly's genes into Jeff Goldblum. And throughout this whole movie, you see him slowly transform all the stages, all these stuff on his face, and slowly hairs. Then some of his stuff on his face starts falling apart. His hair, his fingernails, his teeth, ear, and he has the abilities to climb on the walls, the ceiling. And the flies effects, like how flies are supposed to vomit up the stuff to liquefy their food, and so they can be able to suck it up. and the makeup effect. The biggest thing is the makeup and transformation effects on Jeff Goldblum. How he's all the stages of him just transforming into this. It's really awesome, top notch, excellent effects. Really top notch by the guy who did the effects. Who won the Oscar for. I just want to give credit where it. Chris Wallace or Wallace, and the makeup who did the makeup effects of the creature, and makeup artist by Stephen Dupius. Really awesome. I really get credit to it. Really awesome effects. I really do. And Jeff Goldblum, he did a really great job acting. I've always enjoyed Jeff Goldblum when he started in Independence Day, of course, in Jurassic Park, The Lost World, and I had a little fun with his role, and I just like him. I like him in other movies as well, but just mainly Jurassic Park and Independence Day, where he's got the most famous for. But before that, he did this film, and it really kickstarted off for him. And Geena Davis, I thought she did really good. And especially the love story between these two, I really buy. Like how with Geena Davis is how her reaction of what's happening to him, and like she feels sorry for him, and I don't blame him. You do feel sorry for both these people. You feel sorry for her because her man is transforming into this creature, and feel sorry for Jeff Goldblum that it's all this happening to him. He's losing his humanity by fully becoming on a fly. He's like, I dreamt of an insect who wanted to become a man. That dream's not alive anymore. Now he's just an insect. And then also during the one part where she gets pregnant by Geena gets pregnant by Jeff Goldblum, and now she's afraid that because she was pregnant after he did the teleportation, she's afraid of what happened with this baby. Will it become like sort of like a mutated baby? Like she has a nightmare when she gives birth to this larva type of thing, and now she feels like she wants to abort it because she wants afraid of what this baby might become. And also this guy John Getz is in this as was Stathis. He's kind of like he's pretty much kind of like a dirtbag mostly though, but he's at the same time he's kind of wants to help Geena Davis to go through this. And John Getz, I remember he was in the comedy Men at Work with Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen. He was like kind of like the sort of like the villain of the movie. He's the guy who wants to dump all that toxic waste out. I remember him from Men at Work, and I like Men at Work. But I thought he was fine, even though he was supposed to be like kind of a dirtbag though. But he's helping. He wants to, but at the same time, he's helping Geena Davis get through with the situation with Jeff Goldblum. Like in one part, he watches a videotape that when Jeff Goldblum wants to be filmed, like shows like he's watching the videotape of him. He says what the flies do with the vomit and then slurp it back up. He's like, oh my god. And he wants to help. And he wants to help Geena Davis and do because she wants to get this abortion done right away. But so he agrees to it. But Jeff Goldblum, he hears that she's pregnant, so he breaks into the doctor's office and abducts her. So then John gets to go back to his place to get the shotgun because he wants to shoot Jeff Goldblum, but Jeff Goldblum gets to drop on him and vomits on his hand, and good effects where his hand is just slowly just disintegrating to nothing, and Jeff Goldblum does the same on his foot and liquefies his foot, and his foot falls off. But he was supposed to do it on his face, but Geena Davis stops him. And now that Jeff Goldblum, he wants to he said he wants to be human, so he gets the idea because now he has 3 teleportation her Geena Davis into one and himself into one, so they can both teleport together into that third one, so him, her, and the baby can become one. And she doesn't want to do that, and as he's slowly pulling her towards the teleport device, and she kind of like rips off his lower jaw. Good effects. And when in this one where he rests with skin falls and becomes the Fly, I gotta give an applause to this. Just seeing this awesome, well done, top notch effects, just brings a big smile to my face. I just love when he just the rest of the stuff part less of him falls off and the head of the Fly and the legs of the Fly, just awesome effects. I know I'm praising the effects a lot, but it just looks so well done. It looks awesome. It's all practical. It's just awesome to watch. And in the Fly, well, he calls himself the Brendel Fly. Throws her into the teleport, and he puts himself into one. And then John Getz, he gets a shotgun to shoots the cables where Geena Davis is at, and she manages to get out before the countdown for the teleportation starts, and when it does, the Brendel Fly gets out midway to the teleportation, and it teleports him and part of the door to the machine, and comes out the other one, and he's like fused with the part of the door, and he comes out. And then Geena Davis, she sorry. she gets the gun and she wants to shoot him though, but she's getting a little hesitant because she still loves Seth, and even though he sees how she sees how he is, but she still doesn't want to do it because she still loved him, and she says she can't do it. And then it shows that Seth has that little bit of humanity left in him because he pulls the shotgun up to his head, that indicates that he wants her to pull the trigger. She wants to end. He doesn't want to be suffering anymore. He wants her to pull the trigger. That's why he takes the gun and just slowly puts it in his head, wanting her to shoot him. But she still can't do it though. But even though John Getz is looking at this as well, but now finally, Geena Davis, she finally has enough courage to go and shoots him, blows his head off, and it ends with her just crying. And I do understand that. You feel sorry for Geena Davis, and especially also for Jeff Goldblum as well. And I bought how the chemistry between each other, and I bought that. I completely understand it. We feel sorry for both of them, especially for Geena Davis, because how her man is now this monster, and she still, even though how he is now fully a monster, she still can bring herself to pull the trigger to shoot him, to kill him. But at the end, she had no choice to, so she had to, of a mercy kill basically, and I felt sorry for her, and especially also for Jeff Goldblum, because he doesn't want to continue on this anymore. That's why he put the shotgun to himself to the head in the first place, because he wants her to shoot him. So I didn't get, and for the other stuff in the film, like there's during the part where, like I said, the futurist about the Brundle Museum of Natural History, like he keeps all like the body parts of stuff that fell off from like his ear, or he lost his teeth, he puts them in the medicine cabinet with all the other ones. Or another part where another good kind of like a creepy answer, because since as he slowly, there was some part where he was like semi-normal stuff on his face, like he's at a bar and he's like arm wrestling with this one guy who was kind of looks like stronger than him, but then Jeff Goldblum wins by he slowly just jerks it and breaks the guy's wrist. You can see the bone sticking out, and it's like, ooh. I was like, ugh, okay, that's kind of like unsettling, because he has strength. He has like some strength now because he was adapted to the Fly's abilities, and he goes and snaps and breaks that guy's arm. It's like, ooh, that's like a bad snap right there. And I don't know what more to say. I was like, I didn't get fully into it because, like I usually do, but everyone knows about this movie, and I'm sure a lot of people like a lot. I would say probably like about. Be fair, maybe I'll get 85%, if not maybe 90. I love this movie. It's definitely easily my favorite film from David Cronenberg. Easily. This film is without a doubt a classic. It deserves to give a 30th anniversary movie review. I also wanted to review this film to October, but I didn't have the time for it though. But better to close because since the year is coming to an end, I want to give like 30 anniversaries or 20 anniversaries, especially the 20 anniversaries out before 2017 comes around. But the film is worth deserving to talk about a 30th anniversary for this film. It's just one of my favorite remakes, easily without a doubt, along with The Blob and then John Carpenter's The Thing. Especially these were like the 80s, you know, not like today that they wanted to remake every single movie, especially horror films. When it comes to horror films, this film, that film, and that film did these horror remakes right. To me, they did these remakes right. Well, with all of them well done practical effects, A-list actors, and especially top notch directors, David Cronenberg, Chuck Russell, John Carpenter. Well, probably Chuck Russell. He's not like one of the best directors of all time, but I like Chuck Russell as a director. I think he's a good director. I know John Carpenter and David Cronenberg are much bigger names than Chuck Russell, but still, I think he's a capable director still. But yeah, David Cronenberg, Chuck Russell, and John Carpenter. These are horror film movies, especially from the 80s, that did them right. Nowadays, yeah, there are remakes that I do like from today. Like I said, Dawn of the Dead, The Hills of Ice remake, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So there are ones but those are just a few. But most of them mostly suck. Sometimes well, but actually not sometimes. Most of the time, people don't want remakes especially for classic films. Do anyone ask for a remake of what? Total Recall, or anyone ask for a remake of? Oh, let's see. What's another remake that Red Dawn, or remake of RoboCop? You know, remakes of classic films, like, you know, I don't know, but if you want to go for a remake, especially from the 80s, these what did it right. This film did it right. Jeff Goldblum did a really great job. Geena Davis, same thing. John Getz, I thought he was fine, even though he was somewhat of a dirtbag, though. But still, he wanted to, by the end he wanted to help Geena Davis. But I thought he was all right. Well, more than all right. I thought he was decent. I enjoyed the score by Howard Shore. Great directing by David Cronenberg. And once again, saying top notch, excellent, well done, awesome makeup and transformation effects. That's the one of the biggest highlights of this film for me. And the film was critically acclaimed by critics, has a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, has a 7.59 B, and it performed well enough at the box office. It made like about 60 million worldwide, and it's a decently budget of maybe I think it was like 15 million. I think it was like in between there. So yeah, I would say 15 million. So it performed well enough. Not that big of a hit like Aliens, but it held its own well. So this film will always forever be a classic. I love The Fly, but sadly though I don't have the sequel though. But I think I remember I do like this. I had it on old VHS tape. I didn't have the first one on VHS tape. I only had the second film a long time ago. And I haven't seen that film for quite some time though. But I want to get the sequel. But I do think I do remember liking the sequel. Definitely not as good as the first film, but I think the sequel was I think the sequel was pretty decent, if I can talk right. So I'll have to pick that up, but I have to rewatch it so I can review it. But for this film, the 30th anniversary review of David Cronenberg's The Fly, it's an absolute classic. I love the movie. It's definitely one of my favorite remakes of all time. This is a remake, especially from the 80s, that did it right, especially, like I said, with those two the films, like I already said. Top-notch effects, great acting, especially from the two leads. Top-notch direction by David Cronenberg. It's easily my favorite film of his, easily. And also, I forgot to say the tagline, be afraid. Be very afraid. Like what Jeff Goldblum was saying, don't be afraid, and Geena was telling the other girls, like, no, be afraid. So, yeah. I don't know what I'm going to say. I love this movie. If anyone's not seen this film, I would strongly suggest if people to check this out. If anyone has not seen this film, I highly recommend it. You will not be disappointed. But, of course, there are probably a few people who won't care for it. I know my dad doesn't care for this film, sadly. Like, he loves The Blob and John Carpenter's The Thing. He said he saw it once a long time ago. I think it was in the theater when it came out, and he says he didn't care for it. It's my dad's opinion though, but he didn't care for The Fly. But I think he did like Scanners though. To me, I'm not a big fan of Scanners, so it's like the opposite. But well, what can you do? But to me, I love this movie. It's an absolute classic to me, and probably to a lot of people as well, especially to the horror fans. It's a great movie. Love it. Definitely one of the best remakes. So, that's my 30th anniversary review of David Cronenberg's The Fly. Be sure, if anyone hasn't seen it, check it out. I highly recommend it. Definite 2 thumbs up. That's my review of it. I love it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.